Do I have everything? Hello. Sorry, I'm in a little bit of a hurry today. We're gonna rush this. We're gonna knock this out. We're doing grappa though. Grappa, yeah, Italian pomace brandy made from winemaking leftovers. Now, the thing about grappa, so last video, the gin one, I talked about how gin is kind of the horror movie of spirit genres, and that you can kind of do anything you want with it as long as you sort of make a general nod in the direction of like botanicals. Grappa is different. Grappa is like how do I put this? The Francis Ford Coppola filmography of spirits genres, in that some grappas are absolutely amazing. They are phenomenal. They are profound. They are unbelievably well made. And then a lot of them are just absolutely god-awful sugary dreck. And then there's some grappas which are just kind of weird. So yeah, I've talked about Marolo and some of the producers I like in the past. These three are producers. Well, actually, no. I've tried Levi before, but these are mostly producers I don't know very well. And so we're gonna taste them out and see if we've got, so to speak, do we have an Apocalypse Now or a Godfather, or do we have a Jack? Jack was the terrible mid-90s Robin Williams one, right? That one. Or do we have a Megalopolis? I will take a Megalopolis if I can get one. All right, so all of these are from northern Italy in various spots. Look at this box. Yeah. And let's get these things poured. What have I got? I've got a little sample of a Marzadro. This is the Espressioni Bianca from 2014. Grapes, it's Moscato, it's something else I don't know. Grape, I don't know. Yeah, Moscato and marzemino, which is apparently a red grape. I've never had a marzemino, so I'm excited to try this. This is the one I'm interested in. This is a Dellavalle. They are from the Piedmont, but this grape is not. This is a grappa of Greco Di Tufo, which is one of my all-time favorite white wine grapes. It's from Campania, typically. Aged 12 months in, what are they calling it? Rovere oak, which I think is just Italian oak. A Nonino, this is absolutely the most famous house here. The cork comes on its own little sexual instrument here. But this is their 5-year reserve. No indication of what pomace they are using, but Jesus. It's a party trick for your friends. That's what this topper is. But it is 5 years old, a blend of between 5 and 20 years old. And yeah, they're in Udine, which is right on the far northeast corner of Italy. A very famous house. What else do I know about this? I feel like I have more things to say about this, but not right now. And last up is the second Romano Levi of the channel. He himself died a few years ago, but someone else has taken over. I'm not entirely sure who, but it's a tiny little distillery, and they do grappa on direct fired stills, which is the most terrifying pain in the ass thing I've ever heard in distilling. This is the Grappa della Donna, I'll just read it. Selvatica Scavalica le Colline del Paglierina. I'm not the Levi. Let's just call it the Levi. And this is a blend of Nebbiolo, dolcetto, barbera, and 3 years old, 45% ABV. Anyways, let's start with the Marzadro. Thank you for suffering through my attempt to pronounce Italian. All right, this is the only unaged option we have here. These guys are in Trentino, so the eastern side of northern Italy. The thing about Palmas brandy is the nose has to be good. If the nose sucks, like, don't even bother. Just put it back. If the nose it is good, you may continue. It doesn't mean it's going to be good on the palate, but that's the minimum expectation. The nose has to be good. And this is a good nose. Yeah, like crushed, mashed up golden raisins, dirt. Yeah, just like those of you who like that kind of PX smell, the kind of dirty raisin smell you get in like PX cask, you will probably like this nose. Except you're mixing, except it's golden raisins this time rather than like the sun-kissed things. And you're mixing all of that up with a good amount of kind of mixed tea leaves, especially green tea leaves, oriental tobaccos. There's a real stemminess to this. And here's a curveball. This is quite medicinal. So yeah, the if you know, I was gonna say I could see fans of like Lafroig in PX casks getting into this, but actually no, I'm gonna take that back. People who like that style should stay as far away from this as possible, even though there's something of that flavor profile in here. There's something of like dirty raisins in a medical dumpster kind of smell. Certainly very floral, tons of flowers. I'm imagining that's from the moscato element of this. Certainly some minerality, a little bit of like a like crushed limestone, a little bit of chalk, lime peel, a little bit of like a bergamot peel thing too. Slightly herbaceous, a little bit of sage. There's a lot going on in this nose. This is a good start. It's not going to kick too much butt on the palate. I mean, it's only 43%. I don't think anything here gets over 45 on the palate. I'm trying to detect sugar on this. I can't tell, which is usually a good sign. On some ways the palate feels very sweet, but it doesn't feel cloying or syrupy on the back end, which is usually the dead giveaway. So if this has had a little bit of sugar added, it's not very much. It's not getting in my way. That being said, I find the palate on this a little bit less exciting, a little bit less enticing than the nose. It still does keep that kind of medicinal element to it. Yeah, I could copy paste a lot of the same stuff over. It's just a little bit less vivid and kind of defined. You know, it's like it's a little bit like a bodybuilder. The nose, you're catching the bodybuilder on peak day, and you know the palate, it's like 2 days past peak. It's that kind of thing. It's just a little bit. A little bit flatter, but you are still getting that kind of like used Band-Aids thing, used bandages thing, crushed raisins, dirt, rocks, chalk, green tobaccos, oriental tobaccos, a little bit of sage, a little bit of oregano, certainly some mixed flowers, like just chewing on flowers, including like stems and all. A little bit of like an oolong tea leaves kind of thing. Like it's got a lot of intensity, it's got a lot of punch, but maybe the problem I'm running into is it just doesn't have a lot of grip to it and doesn't stick around for very long, which is really annoying. I'm guessing they're like a non-chill filtered version of this up at 48, 50% would be a total home run, an absolute winner. This is still pretty good, but it just feels like it's being held back on the palate in the way that the nose is not. All right, let's give this a couple of drops. 4, 5. Move on. This is the one I'm excited about. And it's mainly because of the grape varietal. Dellavalle. This is from Vigliano d'Asti in Piedmont. And yeah, it's very weird to see a Piedmont distillery distilling Greco di Tufo. Because, again, Greco di Tufo is a varietal you tend to find in Campania. It is a fantastic grape. Fantastic grape. It is the best grape in the world for white pizza, if you are looking for one. It has a very minerally, apple-y character, but it's very, very full on the palate. I love Greco di Tufo. I mean, I've never seen one over about like 12.5% alcohol, but they always feel like they're like 15%, but they're not. They're really just, they got more heft than the ABV actually tells you. Anyways, I love Greco. One of my all-time favorite white varietals. So seeing it in grappa form is very exciting. And just to remind you, white wine grapes, unless there's been like maceration, you've been like an orange wine or something, weirdness. White wine grapes automatically have an advantage in Pomace brandy because there was no maturation. There was no, you weren't soaking your grape must in your skins and your pips and your stems or whatever was in there to kind of suck all the flavor out of them. So all that flavor is still left in because you've just pressed the must straight off. So this should be good. Expectations are high. I want this to be good. It's only 42% alcohol, but still. Distilled in the bain marie still. So still discontinuous distillation, but they have it's a bain marie. That's how it works. You don't want to burn your pomace. And I think everything here is actually using a bain marie except for the nonino, which is steam. All right. Sorry. Again, aged in oak for 12 months. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Here's a curveball. This smells like a tomatin. This smells like a intensely orangey, single malt Scotch from Scotland. It smells like it's from somewhere near Inverness. It's just so orangey. What's missing is it's missing the graininess that would give it away as tomatin, but still. Oh, that's so pretty. I love this. I adore this nose. Oranges, oranges, oranges. Orangecicles, like orange syrup, marmalade, different kinds of oranges. So you got your navels, but you also got your blood orange in there, a little tangerine. It's just so orangey. But it's not a super huge range of flavors, as you may have noticed, but boy, does it go hard on that one flavor. No, there's a little bit of honey in this. Orange blossom honey, let's say. There's a little bit of a green character to this too. What is that? I want to say tea leaves, but it's not quite tea leaves. It's almost just like a pleasant, gentle, damp grass kind of smell. So you've taken all the oranges in the world and you've kind of rolled them around in grass. Touch of cinnamon. Little allspice too. All right, this is another one. The palate needs to live up to the nose. If a Pomace brandy has a good nose, good, that's great. But it's got to bring more than that because that's what you expect from the style. On the palate, here we go. This one feels like there might... I'm still not sure if there's actual sugar on the Marzadro or not. It wasn't bugging me. This one is starting to bug me because there's a little bit of syrupiness on the back end, and it's heartbreaking. Damn it. It was really good otherwise, too. Oh. Well, now I'm mad. Now I'm mad because, like, this is a phenomenal spirit. Like, I love this. The front end on this is, like, it's orangey. Super duper huge orange marmalade-y, tangerine, blood orange action. Along with that kind of wet grass kind of character. A little bit of basil action. Orange pith, too. There's some, like, orange bitterness, some astringency to it. I really like the front end on this. And then it kind of flattens out as it moves into the mouth, and it leaves behind a little bit of a sweet syrupy thing, which is a little bit like like a little bit like the orange slice candies, but not as pleasant as those. Pour more of this. I mean, I'm torn because, like, in some ways, you could almost use this as a substitute for Grand Marnier. It's not that sweet. It's not that sweet, but it's like, yeah, in some ways, this is just like if you have a family member who enjoys just drinking Grand Marnier neat, but they want to cut back on the sugar a little bit, pour them a glass of this, see what they think. It's great. It's great. It's so close to being a great spirit. Like, if they just pulled the sugar out, kicked up the strength a little bit. Oh, it gets ashy on the back end too. There's a little bit of but nice ashy, like a kind of, again, burned orange peel kind of thing. Orange blossoms again, plus honey. So much to like about this. And honestly, if y'all are watching, take the sugar out, up the strength, charge $10 more for it, and I will be your best friend. I really will. Because it'll be so much better. Yeah, I mean, well, let's see what water does. Water might bring out the syrupiness on the back end even more, which would really, like, wreck my day even more. But I have to know. And this is Grappa, man. Like, this is just the category. It's a minefield. Mar in France, Palmas brandies from around the world, they're their own little minefields. But Grappa is really a minefield. Like, there's so many great producers out there making. I mean, they're either making really a weird spirit. We might get to one of those. We'll see. Keep the levy in mind. They're making really weird spirit, or they're just making, like, fantastic spirit that is doped up, for lack of a better word. All right, let's move on to the Nonino, the most prominent and the most expensive thing on the table so far. Again, these guys right at the tippy corner of northeast Italy. Steam distilled. So, yeah, they're literally like just steaming the pomace to get the alcohol and stuff out from them, then doing the separation thing. Don't ask me to explain this. I don't know anything about chemistry. All right, 43% ABV. Let's see what we got. Very floral nose. I would imagine. I mean, so it smells like a very. It smells like a red winey nose. I'm not getting the intense aromatics I would get that tell me this is more of a white wine kind of nose. But it's nice. Again, we're kind of on lots of raisin stuff, dried fruit, raisin, apricot. Orange, well, not orange. Bergamot on this, but it's not the peel. This is more like the flesh of the bergamot. Touch of pineapple, maybe some dried tamarind, and we're definitely getting into tobacco land here. You're not missing Palmas brandy if you get this in a blind. Yeah, so Burleys, some Orientals, a little bit of like a bright leaf Carolina, Virginia tobacco. Sorry, I'm a tobacco nerd. You know, old recovering pipe smoker. Very floral, as I said, but it's not like distinct flowers. It's not even like distinct stems. Just a little bouquet of floweriness. There is almost like a sweet candy thing. It's like a fructose kind of smell. Maybe like a it smells a little bit like the inside of a fig. Let's put it that way. It's got that kind of figgy smell. That's the best I can do with that. Yeah, it smells very, very sweet, but there's layers, there's dimensions there. There's dried fruit, florals, tobaccos. Nice. On the palate. Oh, and some dried apple, too. Nice. On the palate. In terms of mouth presence, the most convincing thing here so far. It's not a spirit that impresses so much on the front end, unlike, some of the previous grappas. I mean, it lands just fine and does its kind of like tobacco raisins kind of thing. But on the back end, it gets really pretty serious. It gets very peppery. You get lots of nutmeg, clove. Yeah, overstewed tea. Then it gets stemmy. All the grape stems, flower stems, big old halo of florals, field flowers, a little bit of potpourri in there as well. Lemon peel, lime peel. This is the first grappa on the table which has been better on the palate than it has been on the nose. Dried fruit, grapes, apricots, peach a little bit, apple a little bit, bergamot a little bit. Mix of tobaccos. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this one. It's a little bit like going on a date with someone, and intellectually, like, you appreciate them very much, but it's just not a chemistry thing. Like, in some ways, despite the shortcomings of the Dellavalle here, I might have fallen a little bit more in love with this, despite the fact that the Nonino is just objectively better. This is a really good textbook, refined grappa. I might like the Marolos a little bit more, but this is pretty darn good. Let's give this a squirt. Okay, like a couple drops, 5 drops. Because I don't think any of these will take full squirts. All right, moving on to the lone 45%er here. I think this is a 3-year-old. I'm not going to bother trying to read this name out again. It's this one. It's this one. 3 years old. Direct fired stills, and somehow they didn't blow the distillery apart by setting their pomace on fire. Dolcetto, Barbera, and Nebbiolo from Barbaresco. This is about as Piedmont as it can get. Romano Levi. Here we go. I mean, this is, I mean, almost straight up smells like a wine, honestly. It's very delicate on the nose. Floral, fruity. What kind of fruit? What kind of fruit indeed? There's some dried pear, some dried apple. Tamarind, I guess, really comes to mind. No, there's a little bit of raisin and like Mirabelle plum happening. Lots of pepper also. Very, very heavy on the white pepper. More florals. There's like a subtle earthiness to this too. What is that? It's like fennel, but it doesn't have like the aniseedy aspects of fennel. It's more just the earthy aspects. You know what I'm talking about? Like almost an earthy, almost like a coriander aspect to this. Maybe. It's tobacco, but very subtle tobacco. Very, very light dusting of orientals. Some bright, like cherry, I guess. Almost a little hit of tomato. Yeah, very. I mean, it's totally a pomace brandy, but it's also just. It feels like it's doing a little bit of its own thing, a little bit like the Dellavalle, but not anywhere near as like focused on the orange thing. This is doing a bunch of different things. I'm enjoying the tomato aspect of this. That's pretty prominent, actually. All right, on the palate. Mm-hmm. And this is another one where I'm not sure whether they've added sugar or not, but if I had to take a bet on it, I would say they did. Because it gets a little bit more syrupy on the back end than I comfortably want it to be. Damn it, Grappa. Yeah, it's a big old mass of fun stuff up front that's kind of hard to disentangle. It's very fruity. Again, we're going on kind of on apple, pear, but like dried tamarind, dried tamarind. Some subtle earthy stuff. White pepper. So there are some raisins in here now. Orange peel, lime peel, lemon peel. Almost a soapy aspect to this, but nice. Flowers. Subtle tobacco, like really hard to pick up what kind of tobacco it is. Maybe just like a gentle, expensive cigarette tobacco. The cherry, the tomato aspect of this. Yeah. All that's fine. And then it just gets a little bit syrupy on the back end. I do feel like maybe the mouth presence, particularly the finish, might be a hair bit better than the Dellavalle, but I was also really enjoying the vivid orange character of this. Maybe a little bit more. I don't know. These two are pretty close. These two. I feel like the only sort of bone dry thing here is probably the Nonino. Even this I don't feel like is totally... I wouldn't be surprised if they added like a little gram or two. Because that's the style. I'm sure that's what the old men of Italy demand in their grappas. But they're wrong. They're wrong, and grappa producers, you're making some fantastic stuff. If you want to sell it to the rest of the world, do some bottlings without sugar. And tell us that you're doing bottlings without sugar so that we can know. Yeah, it's there. It's totally it's still a nice grappa, but the sugar is just, it's getting in the way. It's getting in the way. Okay, I'm going to add almost a full squirt of that. And yeah, let's go back through these. See what water did. So, interesting session today. A little bit of a bummer in certain aspects, but there's some good stuff here. Back to the Marzadro. Yeah, again, I can name some notes that Laphroaig with PX finish people, it will sound good to them, and they should not try this by any circumstances. Very, like, Band-Aidy. Yeah, it smells like bandages, Band-Aids, iodine. There's a little bit of that kind of like dentist plaster thing stuff. And like also flowers, some golden raisin, dirt, pepper. Grappas are fun. Pomace brandy is fun. On the palate. You know what? The water did this some favors. It isn't like really kicked up the palate, really improved the palate, but it's better. It's more grippy. It's has a little bit more texture to it. It's a very peppery, almost chalky texture, but it's good texture, and the finish is sticking around just a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Not much change to the character of this. It's very floral, tobacco, teas, stems, rocks, chalk. Fun. Yeah, I like this a lot. What can I score this? It's a little better than 84. Yeah, let's do an 84 plus on this. I think this is a pretty good grappa. 84 plus. That is the first score of the day. Let's see if anything can beat that. All right. Dellavalle. I'm really, really hoping that the water has not brought out worse things with the sugar than it was, because that can happen. You throw a little bit of water in something that has had sugar added, and the sugar just comes right into your face. But I have to know. I have to try this. I have to score this. I adore this nose. It is so orangey. All the oranges, all the little orange push pop things. That's what this smells like. Except you're going to cover that with tobacco and tea leaves and stuff. It's a tremendous nose. But the nose wasn't the problem. Let's see if the problem is still there. On the palate. Yeah, whoever out there, if you're watching and you added sugar to this, I hate you. I hate you, and you're bad at your job, and you should stop doing it. This would be so good if it wasn't for the syrupiness on the back end. I mean, it wouldn't be so good. It would be very good. It would be a very good grappa. The oranges, and the little green hints up front. It's so nice up front. And it's you know what? It's still kind of a good grappa. I'm still kind of enjoying this, despite the sugar getting in the way. You know, it's not totally without balance. I mean, it feels like we're halfway to, not halfway, but a third of the way to liqueur territory, but I'm still liking this. I'm going to score this 83 orange out of 100. Okay, that's about, something like that. With a little stem. 83 orange. And yeah, I don't think I can recommend that you buy this. It has a fabulous nose. There's some really, really good aspects to this, but there needs to be a version of this without the sugar. There just needs to be. Because it's being thrown off balance. Period. 83 orange. Let's see where the Nonino is. Yeah, I'm going to take a swig of this just to kind of wash sugar out of my mouth. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Nonino. On the nose. I mean, it is the most conventional nose here, but it's grappa, so it's still not that conventional. Yeah, we're in red fruit territory, herbs, tobaccos, tea leaves. Quite peppery as well. And it's got that kind of like inside of a fig thing still. Maybe it gets a little bit more earthy and peppery with water, which I appreciate. Okay, not a whole lot of change for the nose, but yeah, it's still good on the palate. I mean, just kind of the best thing here. Honestly, it's the most expensive thing, I'm pretty sure, but it is the best thing here. Sometimes people who... Sometimes there are, tennis players who are very, very boring to watch. They have a serve and volley game. They're always going to have a killer serve and then run into the net to do the thing. And every single shot looks exactly the same. But they get it done. This is kind of like that. It's very much like textbook grappa. This is textbook grappa to me. But it gets it done. I could just copy paste all the same notes. It's pretty much the same on the palate as it was before. But it's got the weight. It's got presence. Really good presence for 43%. I still think this would be even better. You know what? This is a little bit more grippy. Finishes a little bit longer now that there's water. would be better at 46, 48, 50%. But you know what? This is an excellent little grappa. Oh man, score-wise, we're gonna go with this. We're not in 88 territory, but it's better than 85. It's somewhere in the middle there. It is, yeah. It's better on the palate than it was. 86 plus, 86 plus. For this Nonino Cuvée AnticaCuvée Riserva, and yeah, I finished my glass. Look at that. All right, Romano Levi. This is not my favorite of the lineup, but you know what? I am just I am. It is a marvel that this exists. Like, this is a grappa distilled with direct fired stills, and that is, it just boggles my mind. All right, let's see what this does with water. Yeah, there is a sense of like you just went out in the woods and you just started picking berries and fruit off the trees, and all of it was half ripe, but you didn't care, and you threw it in your basket and you stuck your head in there. You took a big whiff. That's kind of what this smells like. Like just massive, massive underripe fruit, and then you have that like tomato note, kind of really adding some fun to this. There's a little bit of like a licorice thing, like an aniseed thing. You know, scratch that. Absinthe. A little bit of an absinthe thing coming through now. I really like this nose. I love how delicate it is. On the palate. And then the sugar just comes in on the back end to shut down the fun. Oh. There's some rosewater. Like, rosewater and tomato is like a whole big old flavor experience all on its own. I have to think about doing something with that. Yeah, tomato, rosewater, more tobacco leaves than before, actually. Interesting. Dried fruit. Figginess. But I'm really trying to focus on that like first half second of its hit on the arrival, because that's where all the fun is, and then it just kind of gets like a little flat and syrupy. Is this better than the Dellavalle? Hold on. This is better than the Dellavalle. The palate just kind of holds together a little bit better. Maybe it's extra strength, maybe it's the extra aging, I don't know what it is, but it holds and holds and holds a little bit more on the palate. Sugar's still kind of ruining the fun, but as long as we're doing fruit-themed scores, I'm going to keep that going. I'm going to call it, this is okay. Sugar's annoying. It's getting in the way. Most definitely it is getting in the way, but there's some quality here. I'll call this an 84 tomato, because I really am enjoying the kind of tomato aspect of this. And yeah, that is a heart-rending lineup. some things I like very much, often going hand in hand with things that I do not like. Okay, and sugar. Sugar is the thing I don't like. Yeah. So, bottom, the one I was most excited about, the Dellavalle Greco Di Tufo, just too much sugar on the back end. Like, it's just throwing off the balance of this, but it is such a gorgeous spirit. I almost want you to try it anyways. I wish you could just, like, come through the screen to smell this, because it's an amazing nose. Like, this is more tomatin than tomatin, honestly. Next up, 84 tomato is the Romano Levi, all those Italian words I'm not going to try to say again. 84 tomato. 84 plus, I think. Yes. 84 plus for the Marzadro. It's a very lovely example of a classically made unaged grappa. I wish it was a little bit stronger. I wish they just presented better, but it's still good. 84 plus. 86 plus for the Nonino with the slightly questionable topper. 86 plus in the most conventional thing here by a mile, but also the best thing here. And so yeah, that is my grappa video, and we will get back to like videos people might actually want to watch. That might want to give me some viewership next week. Maybe I'll do some rum. Thanks for watching, and cheers.